Ready to rock? What's up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of On the House. Today I have a really good friend of mine, a longtime friend in our business, Eddie Cha.
Hello. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, I know. So now that we were talking about it during the Bible study, but I was thinking it's been I think it's 16 years. I think it was 2010.
Is it?
Yeah.
It's been a while.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
When I'd met you, how long you had All In at that time?
I think only a couple of years. I think we started around the same time when you opened the agency.
Yeah.
So.
And that was your first gym that you were coaching at? Before then, you were still training?
Yeah. I was training at Ferrer Academy before that, and then we opened the All In.
So were you training when you were still living in Northern California, or only down?
Yeah, at the Muay Thai Academy, MTA. It was the same gym where Javier Mendez used to train.
Oh, really?
AKA, yeah, we had the same instructor, Crew Bomick.
So down in that San Jose area.
Yep, Palo Alto.
And did you always know that you were going to coach at some point, or what kind of led you down that path?
I did not actually. I used to be a professional poker player. I had other businesses, and then it was weird because my mom didn't like me playing poker. Obviously, she thought it was gambling.
Yeah.
And then so I was kind of looking for a career change. I was going through some stuff. It was weird. I remember I had a dream vividly about just teaching kids and coaching and stuff like that. And then I woke up, called my mom, said, I think God wants me to maybe open a studio or do something like that. And then she goes, yeah, it's funny that you say that. Your uncle knows this guy, Master Shin from Taeyong Taekwondo. You go see him. So he had like 4 schools in Calabasas.
Wow.
So I was going to do a Taekwondo studio. He was going to sell me one, but he only wanted me to teach Taekwondo. I said, I love kickboxing. It's kind of my passion.
Yeah.
I wanted to add a little bit into it. And he said, no, you can't change the name. You can only teach Taekwondo. So I didn't do it. And then that's how we opened All In.
And because I remember in All In when I was training there with you, so you had Taekwondo for the kids, and then you were doing the Muay Thai at night.
Taekwondo for the kids, kickboxing for the kids, and we had a jiu-jitsu program. And then, come full circle, Brady Fink was our jiu-jitsu coach.
Yeah.
And then Santino just retired, and Brady just moved down to Arizona.
Now Brady's back
So we're
there.
back together.
So Brady was at All In then for a bit.
Yeah, he was there until he had to leave for the Ultimate Fighter show as a coach for Bisbing.
That's right.
Yeah.
And so then who was like your first fighters? Was it Chris Saunders then?
Christoph Saunders. He had so many different names.
Yeah,
but, it was Chris Saunders. Brady actually, we that was our first guy together.
Wow. Because I remember he kind of put your gym on the map. I remember he came out of the gates like really strong, like 8-1, 9-0, or 9-1, somewhere in that ballpark.
8-0, 9-0. I think you got him a fight in Bellator,
and
then he went to the Ultimate Fighter show, and
Wow. And then so Cisco then probably would have been.
Cisco was the second big guy. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Because he originally was with Rush, right? He was at Mike Rush, I think, down the street at their gym, and then kind of came over to you.
Yeah. Cisco, he was my main guy. He was one of the most talented guys, timing-wise, skill set-wise. He hated training jiu-jitsu. He hated training wrestling. But when it came to striking, we'd hit mitts twice a day,
Yeah.
I put everything into it. I didn't have too many guys at the time. So even without the ground and everything else, I mean, he won 6 straight in the UFC. We got to top 10, which is great. We had a great run.
Yeah, I remember watching him. I think the show was called like Call to Arms in Ontario, I think before you. And you could see that he definitely had, power and raw skill set. And then I remember he had gotten into the WC, then the UFC, and then I think when you really started taking over, I think you had him that last UFC fight of the first run.
Yeah.
But then I think working with you, you could really see that huge difference in his game.
That Call to Arms, I was actually on the other side. I coached Fernando Bernstein.
Oh, you did?
Yes. Cisco broke his jaw in 2 places. Went to the hospital, Fernando. Yeah. And we had a mutual friend, Tito. And then he's like, you need to train Cisco. And I said, call him. Let's see. And then I called Fernando, saw if it was okay. And then he came, we clicked, and then the rest was history.
Wow. I feel like Cisco is kind of your calling card because I feel like a lot of guys started coming. Like he was a gateway to a lot of other fighters. I feel like he brought in a lot
he
of
opened the path for sure.
Yeah. A lot of the CSW guys and other guys around Orange County, I think, like really kind of made it happen. Yeah, that's so awesome.
Yeah.
Do you think he was one of the most talented guys you worked with, or who would you say is?
Yeah, striking wise, for sure. His timing was just distance and timing is my biggest thing, not speed and power.
Yeah.
And so he definitely had that. I've been so fortunate to work with so many guys, but Henry Cejudo comes to mind. He's the type of guy that we can do one move and he can do it the next day.
Wow.
So like some guys, you teach them a skill set or understand something, it would take them 2-3 fights a year later. Like Zombie, for example, when we started running the check hooks, he couldn't get it. Then when he got it, he goes, "Oh my God." He goes, "If I had this, I would have, killed everybody earlier." Yeah. But then it just would not come out. Couldn't do it in sparring. And then the Frank Yeager fight, he was able to run the check hook, and then he fell in love with it. But like Henry, he didn't kick much when we worked for the Dominic Cruz fight.
Yeah.
And I said, we have to kick. We have to kick. Dominic Cruz runs kind of like the rope-a-dope style. Yeah. Don't headhunt. You can wrestle anytime you want in round one, but our goal was to get 10 kicks off body or leg. But it was only 3 weeks as he was going for Aldo. Aldo got injured, so then we only had 3 weeks to prepare. But Henry could literally, you can teach him one thing and he can apply it tomorrow.
So his ability to learn was just
super talented
fast.
In his prime. Wow. So talented.
Yeah, and both him and Zombie, you kind of got mid-career. You kind of had both those guys.
Yeah. I always got kind of guys at the tail end. I would love to start ground up with somebody. But, and nevertheless, I'll take a mid-level Henry or tail end any day of the week.
Yeah.
But I would love to just start somebody like ground up, philosophy-wise, implement skill sets and fight IQ and stuff like that. But someday, maybe, before I retire.
So you believe in timing and distance over speed and power?
Yeah. I think timing is speed and power, but the distance game is to me is everything. I think a lot of guys move forward and then they get hit. They don't know the line where they should hit the brakes. Mm-hmm. I think and a lot of guys are the same thing. I preach this all the time. Strategy, like when you're in the center of the cage, should be different when I have somebody in the back of the cage, or if my back's towards the cage and he's in front of me. You should have a different strategy, but it looks like everybody kind of runs the same thing, whether they're here, the center of the cage, or at the end of the cage. So that's what I call like fight IQ. So fight IQ, distance, and timing, those three things is always what I'm trying to educate our guys. If you can do those, then you don't have to memorize all these combos and learn different things. But on the other side, I think you do have to learn skill sets. Like my philosophy is I always tell my guys, whether you learn a jab, is like everything comes to a toolbox. If you have a jab, say that's a screwdriver. You have a heavy cross, it's going to be a Phillips or whatever. Double leg can be your hammer or whatever. But you need a toolbox. When you go to fight, you only need a tool belt. You only need like 3-4 things that you need, right? And then adjustments are key. If the game plan's not working round one, if you don't have anything in the toolbox, you can't even interchange these tools. Right?
And you're stuck.
Like a lead leg Superman, rear leg Superman, he's checking this, or I don't have a rear shoulder feints or lower body feints or whatever. These are all tools in the toolbox. And so when we're not in camp, we're always trying to develop more tools and then upgrade our tools so that Phillip turns into one of those electric ones,
Yeah.
So
you see it as then you're changing tools on your tool belt mid-fight, mid-rounds, as you're making adjustments, you're adding some things, taking some things away that aren't working.
Yeah, you got to adjust. But even if the coaches or whatever tell you like, hey, this guy's doing this, but if you don't have the tools to stop it, there's nothing you can really do about it,
Yeah.
And so tool belts are so key essentials, but then you got to upgrade those tools.
And so then just going back a second, so fight IQ too, then is really just how you're implementing your game. Your game plan will change depending on where you're at in the cage or how you're fighting,
100%.
basically. So whether you're against the cage, whether they're against the cage, whether you're in the center, that will dictate everything as opposed to just running the same.
Yeah, because most wrestlers, they'll get him to the cage and then they wrestle, right?
Yes.
From a striking standpoint, or just even game plan in general, if we're in the center of the cage and say we do a high-low level change feints, all they got to do is just step back and reset. But if you have them, the black line, we have different code words for those. But when your opponent hits their back leg on that black line, which is the 3-foot line, right, the warning track line, if you level change feint, they could sprawl. They're going to react a little bit more.
Yes.
So you can level change overhand, level change teep, level change, come up with the hook, then do a shot. So there's so many more options. You're at such an advantage when you get somebody towards that cage. They're limited to what they can do, But a lot of the times, if you watch fights, whether they're in the center of the cage, their back's on the cage, or vice versa, you don't see a different type of offense.
Yeah.
And
when you get a fighter, how hard is it to break those habits? How hard do you think it is to get them to develop that fight IQ?
Once they start believing and they start seeing the results, I'm big on goal setting. So like per round, we always try to set goals. Like, what's the goal right here? Are you just going to spar or so
kind of a process in place, you're saying then?
Yeah. And everybody knows, like, last 2 minutes, 90 seconds, try to get a takedown.
Correct.
Or whatever it may be. Those are like, I think, basic game plans.
Yes.
But like,
Very
what kind
level.
of takedowns? Are you doing anything to set up the takedowns? I call them like half shots. Maybe in the first 2 minutes of the round, we level change, and not exerting energy and letting it go. Merab does a great job. He'll shoot 5 times. Half of those times, they're not 100%. Right?
Yeah.
And then everyone's sprawling at 100, and then that 10% will increase to he has more cardio than you do. Just planting seeds, So, yeah, those are the kind of things that I like to educate my guys, talk about fight IQ. Distance, Henry and I are really big on it. He calls them borders. So, like, if, say, for example, if you're doing a lead leg kick or whatever, the lead leg is the closest target to us. So if anybody that gets in a stance, like a fight stance, if you just draw a line from your lead leg knee going straight up, it's always like a foot plus in front of their face. And so if you're looking to strike, the closest target is here. How are we gauging that distance, right? Everyone's always trying to headhunt and stuff like this, but the leg is always here. So if you walk around like this, right? So it's a lot closer, but...
Out of those 3, what do you think is the hardest for fighters to pick up between distance, timing, and the fight IQ?
I think it depends on the individual, but most of the people, it sounds like common sense. They can understand it, but applying it is obviously different. That's why I always try to set goals like, I want 5 kicks this round. Then we'll start on the clock. Hey, that's 1, that's 2, great job. You have 2 minutes left, so it kind of gauges where they're at. Some wrestlers would say, I want 2 half shots and 1 full one. If we do 1 half shot, I want a low, high, low series, like we level change, come up and back down or whatever it may be. And so it really just depends on the individual skill sets where you can get it, but everyone learns differently.
Yeah.
I think the hardest part is to find out how they learn. Some people learn by doing it. Some people learn by seeing it, hearing it, watching it. So you really got to kind of observe and say, oh, this guy learns like this. Just like some guys in the corner, you can yell at them, and then they don't respond well. Some guys need to hear that, right? So you have to know your fighter, and the only way to know them is kind of get to know them, go out to lunch, dinner,
So then, so you're saying for a lot of these fighters, in-camp sparring has to be very methodical, purpose-driven, process in place. We're not just sparring just to get the rounds in, right? Maybe outside of camp, you can do the general pop sparring. But in camp, everything is dialed in.
Yeah, I think when it comes to camps for sparring, there's macro, micro game plans, right? The overall, like the game plan of like, okay, we're going to do this, this, and this, 1 or 2 takedowns, etc. The micros is like what moves work. Most fighters, I think, even the best fighters in the world, they have one unstoppable move. Like Conor McGregor, what's his go-to?
Yeah.
He's so good at drawing you in. Everyone throws a right hand, then he'll slip cross.
Yeah.
If you take his slip cross left hand away, he might be, above average, obviously, but like, how does he win a lot of fights without that left hand?
You're taking away that a good chunk of
how do we negate that? Then their second best weapon, if they have one, and things like that. How do we win rounds, like volume wise? Can we win a decision? I always believe like a fight is like a war. I just need to win 2 battles, right? How am I going to win those 2 battles? Is it first and third? This kid's so dangerous in the first round. Maybe we take it off, or we get him tired. There's so many ways.
Try to win the second and third.
Yeah,
Okay, yeah.
dealing with it. But you got to break down stats, odds, fights. Too many people, I think they just watch the fight once and go, okay, this is what we're going to do. Oh, I've seen that guy fight before. But for me, I'll watch that fight over and over and over, slow it, half speed. How did he set that knockout up? How did he set that takedown up? All those kind of things. How's his volume? Does he throw every time you throw a punch at him, a feint, half punches, things like that, So.
And so you're watching it then, I guess, throughout camp, you're saying that. It's not like you're just watching it beforehand. You're going over and over and over trying to see what maybe you missed the previous time.
Yeah, because, like we talked in the Bible study, sometimes you read the same chapter over and over and you get nothing out of it, and then all of a sudden something clicks.
Yeah. That's interesting to me, because I feel like so many people, I know they do the pre-camp study, and I think after that, it kind of is just, you're going forward into camp. You're not really going back and watching that same footage over and over and again.
Yeah, that, and then we'll always have a group chat we put together on WhatsApp with all the coaches, the sparring partners involved. Every sparring video goes in there. I don't know if most people watch it, but for me, I see the progression. So week 1, 2, 3, then go back in week 1. What was the volume down? Kind of write down stats of how many kicks we got in, our punches, how many feints did we use, what kind of feints, what was our goal?
Yeah.
Did we hit that goal? Usually like 5-6 week mark is when you see everything come together, but a lot of times you just always miss things, so that's why it's always good to have
go back and
track and data and stuff like that. And so I'm just kind of nerdy when it comes to that kind of stuff.
And with that being said, so in your opinion, what is the ideal training camp then? Is it 8 weeks, 10 weeks? I know a lot of people have differing opinions on this.
It depends. I think, are they in the gym? Like, my goal is to have full-time fighters. If they're constantly training, the weight's always on point. It always makes everything easier, where we can just kind of dial in. But I think 3-round fights, I think 6 to 8 weeks, if they're in really good shape and, they've been training, they understand the system, which is, it takes time to get used to, obviously. But I don't really try to change a lot of people. I think that's the biggest thing with a lot of coaches is like, this is the way we're going to do this offense or this offense. Like, these guys already do things well. Like, it's so hard to change things. I just want to try to make them better at what they're already doing. I think that's the key, because most of the guys in the UFC, besides Rojas, maybe we're not in our early 20s or teens. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They don't have time 2 years to pick up a system. They got to pick it up in 8 weeks.
They pick it up fast.
4 weeks.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
That's so interesting, because I feel like sometimes, like, when guys get into the UFC, maybe they change camps and that, so it kind of puts them behind the 8 ball, because you're kind of learning at a rapid rate. Like you said, unless you're like Rojas and Raul, and you find a team early and you stick, you have years to kind of develop that system and kind of be able to implement it in the fight.
Yeah. So, like I said, I would love to get somebody ground up. It's never been the case. So.
They call you and they bring you in at the midway point to fix things up and tighten it up.
Yep. And it's okay too. Like I said, I'm honored to be working with a lot of the guys that I've worked with. Super grateful.
And what are your biggest pet peeves in athletes today? Like, what are some of the things that you are like non-negotiables for you in a fighter-coach relationship?
That's a tough one. I don't know if I have pet peeves, but I just want full-time fighters. I want people that, like, if I want it more than them, like, I think that's a problem. If I'm watching more film, or if I want to train, if I'm calling them, they should, in my opinion, feel like the athletes should be bothering the coaches more. Right? Mm-hmm. Hey, do you have time? Do you have time? Do you have time? I feel like sometimes it's the other way around, where I'm always, you guys want to train? You guys want to do this? I offer, and nobody wants to do it. Yeah. And I feel like it should be the other way around.
And then to that extent, how do you balance that with the family?
That's the hardest part, I think. I think your wife is probably in the same thing. We're so lucky that they're super understanding.
Yeah.
They understand what comes with the job. But yeah, I struggle with it all the time. We talked about it today. I think it's so awesome you guys have Bible study because we just started it at Fight Ready 2 weeks ago. And, because kind of justifying it, but like Sunday's our only day off. We work 6 days a week. We go out of town, come back, and it's so hard. It's definitely an excuse, but so that's kind of why I wanted to start the Bible study at Fight Ready is because I'm not going to church enough. I told Pastor Brett, he runs our Bible study.
Nice.
I just told him too. I said, I feel so guilty not going to church all the time. I haven't been in a minute, but I do listen to a lot of podcasts and stuff like that, but still lacking fellowship. It's still something missing. You know? I want like a complete change. I don't want God to turn my whole life around, but hopefully he can get there before he does something like that.
Yeah, I was kind of like thinking like I was like focusing for a long time to make sure Lisa didn't get my leftovers, like with my energy or my time or, and then I started thinking like, okay, well, is God and the church getting my leftovers then too? You know what I mean? Yeah. And you start to realize like, where your time goes is where everything is, that'll say a lot about you. And so I've really been trying to make it a big point to start this year that, my wife's not getting my leftovers and neither is, God in that aspect. But it's tough, like I said, our sport, the calls come all night, the opportunities come on short notice, sometimes very short notice. And so you kind of always are on this on-call type of status. And so I think it's best that you kind of, and I always thought like, I don't want to like iron out like certain times of the day I'm going to spend with my wife. And I thought, well, if you're not intentional with it, if you're not diligent with it, the day is going to take you away, right? Yeah. So then I started thinking I need to start being more intentional and more diligent.
I think you do a great job. Like my grandkids started baseball for the first time.
Yeah.
And the season just started, but I haven't gone to a game yet. Been out of town for 3 weeks straight. Yeah. You're always around Bentley, which is awesome. I look at your stories all the time. I'm like, man, it's so awesome that you make time to do this because it's something that's kind of why I want to be out of the sports because we miss so anniversaries, birthdays, holidays, just everything. Yeah. So I feel like our life is passing by, living through others, helping people fulfill their dreams, which is great. But like on the other side, it's like, our wives and families, like, man.
I think you and I both get a lot of joy in serving and giving to our athletes. But I think you're right. There's a point to where it's like that is a very noble calling, but there also has to be like, hey, where's my family for this? And I know like this last weekend, like I flew to Reno Friday night, took Bentley to weigh-ins. He wrestled at 8 a.m. on Saturday morning. The minute he was done, I flew back to Vegas, went to 326, you know what I mean? Did my obligations there and spent time with Raul and got his win and saw Cody and Dante and then Diego and Steve got on the White House card and then by the time the next day you wake up, you're just exhausted and you're just going. But it's hard, especially with the kids because you feel like they're every day they're changing, every day they're evolving. You feel like you're missing out on the I think like the last time they'll do a certain thing,
They grow up so fast too, and so. I'm trying to do a better job, just trying to make more time, for my family.
I mean, and coaching stuff too, because again, like just the same as management, right? The guy big opportunity may come, 3 or 4 weeks notice. Maybe you thought you had 2 or 3 weeks off, and now all of a sudden you're in the thick of camp, and depending where the fight's at, maybe you have to train at night instead of the morning, or I don't know, whatever it is that you're doing. But I know you never leave no stone unturned, so it's kind of one of those deals where.
Yeah, I'm at the gym 6 days a week. Get there at 9 or 10 o'clock. Leave by 6, 7 o'clock. I live an hour away from the gym, so that doesn't help. Yeah. So I'm driving 14 hours a week. And Saturdays are kind of half days too. But it never ends, like you say, just because you go home, then you got to watch film. You got to make sure everything is doing well, make phone calls, and so.
And one thing I always appreciated about you is like you always wear the losses really hard. And I feel like that's how losing should feel. It should mean so much. It should hurt that bad. Otherwise, why are we doing it if it didn't? Yeah. But that'll take from our family too, right? Because, Mexico City, right? We were across the cage from each other. I know you guys had to loss, but you're going to fly home, spend the day traveling, come home. You're probably still upset. You're probably still reviewing what happened. and your family's probably getting, again, you know what I mean? Like it's a tough business, you know, and I sometimes feel bad to Elise after big losses on Sunday. I'm just probably a shell of myself, you know, I'm just like, oh man, you know, like what could we, it's a rough business.
I don't know how you can't take a loss hard. I feel like if you're okay with the loss, maybe you didn't invest the time, you didn't care as much.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, we all know how important this means to them, especially.
Yeah.
It affects all of us, you know. Yeah. So when people kind of brush off a loss, I'm thinking, like, are they used to losing? Or, I mean, we've been in this sport for forever. Like, I don't think it's something you can get used to. It's the highest of highs, the lowest of lows. But maybe we weren't invested enough into the athlete, the camp, because the more you put in, I mean, that's why the losses are so hard.
It should mean that much, yeah.
Oh gosh, it's rough.
Bentley lost, and he was pretty upset. He didn't cry or anything, but he was in a bad mood. He was livid. He went for a walk on his own, and my wife's like, "Oh man, we got to work on this. He's so angry when he loses." I'm like, "Babe, our nephew trains 5 days a week.
Yeah,
you know. Then he comes here on Saturday, like." It should mean that much to him. If it didn't mean that much, like, why are we doing it? I know he's a kid. I'm not trying to say this is a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to tell him he's wrong for caring. You know, like
that's the competitor. It's a good thing.
You know, 20 minutes he calms down and he's back to, you know, playing with his toys or whatever, you know, between matches. But I'm glad. I'm like, okay, like you should be so lucky to find something in life that you care that much about. Like I know, like some people in our sport, I know you see it. You're in the same hotels. Like I see them, you know, having a drink afterwards at the hotel bar. And I'm like, dude, how could you be so relaxed? Like, I want to go to my room and like cry sometimes. Like, I know. And I feel like that's one thing I wish that, I wish the people that are fans of our sport would be more educated on. Like, I think maybe we could do that, like, you know, or through the UFC. It's like they don't know what certain fights mean, right? Like that's the last fight of his contract, or if he loses this fight, he's cut, or I don't know what it entails. If he wins this fight, he gets a new contract. Like I don't think they realize what's on the line and why it matters so much. It's not just like the third fight of the night. That third fight of the night could be like their whole life summed up in 15 minutes of a cage fight.
And to think, coming off a loss, that they're always thinking, what if I get cut?
Yeah.
Everything they work for, whether it took 5 years, 10 years to get to this moment, and it could be gone in 15 minutes.
I always go back to you working with Cisco because he's one of the top prospects in Southern California. He gets in short notice. Eric Koch, right? Eric Koch catches him with the head kick, up a weight class. And then the next fight, he draws Ruben, his debut fight in the UFC, close fight, loses at the end. 0-2. 2 finishes, and then it's like he gets with you, and it's like, man, he never strayed the course. Like so many people are like, okay, maybe it's time to get a job, or maybe it's time I start to work on quote unquote plan B, right? But I mean, the change in that was so amazing. Remember that he came back and beat Brad McDonald, then he beat Duarte, and then within like a year period, he's back in the UFC, and I don't know. It was one of my best memories with you was that, because it was like in hindsight, it's easy to say, oh, he's just got a great UFC career. But in the moment, you're like, man, that took some balls to not double down, and you know what I mean, to double down like that and go, okay, I'm gonna work my way through.
You know what's crazy? This is before we even worked. When Cisco was an amateur, I don't know if you know this. I think his last 5 amateurs, he lost all 5 by submission.
Jeez.
He'd knock somebody down, ground and pound, get armbarred, and so forth. And then I guess he told everyone, he goes, I'm going to turn pro. And people like, they think 5 losses in a row getting submitted. People like 2, 3, maybe this isn't for me. Let me try something else. You know, he tossed 5 in a row.
And was like, you know what, I should turn pro now.
Let me turn pro. But then he started working on it. I think he went to CSW with Eric Paulson, worked on his wrestling and so forth. Then he turns pro. First 5-0, all knockouts under a minute.
Yeah.
Like literally turned it around.
Yeah. No, and when I watched him at Call to Arms, I was like, wow. I mean, he had power for that division.
Unreal.
I mean, he was chucking
heat.
I mean, he hit them. He sent them into the shadow realm. You're like, good Lord, you know?
Yeah. He was special.
But yeah, I always think about that, like, because I think when you and I linked up, we booked the Brad McDonald fight. I'm like, I think you're just so excited to start working. You don't realize what it was in that moment for him, right? But people don't realize, man, this is do or die for him, right? He lost that UFC fight, the Palms, cut, gets 2 wins, gets the call back.
And that's what it was. He was 5-0. Then he got the air coach.
Yes.
He lost to Ruben Duran.
Yes.
5-2. Then McDonald was 9-2 or 9-1. That was a super tough fight. Knocked him out in the first round. Then Duarte was 15-3. So it's not like he was fighting just 500 guys. Those are 2 hard guys. But I do remember when you said, Sean said, get a couple more wins or finishes.
Yeah.
He took that to heart.
No.
2 finishes with really good records, 9-1, 15-3. And then I remember we didn't get the call. He was going to fight for the Tai Chi Palace belt.
Yep.
And then during that, you called, and he came to the gym. He's like, oh my God, Master Sean, we're back in. We both started crying. It was
I remember where I was. We were leaving. I was with Jeremy in Vegas, and we were leaving the Palms, and Sean Shelby called me. He's like, hey, can Cisco fight in a couple weeks? I was like, yeah, for who? He's like, for us. I was like, so naive back then. Sean probably looks at me like, dude, what were you thinking, kid? Who else do you think he's going to freaking fight for? But I was so excited. You know what I mean? I was so like, And I remember thinking like, he's like, well, doesn't he fight him at touch? Like, it's okay to release him. Like, are you sure? And I'm like, yeah, I'm sure. They'll let him, you didn't want to lose the opportunity. You're like, we'll figure out the rest later. But
what a journey it's been. It's insane.
It was really cool. And you could see the difference he made in his career. And obviously he went on a good streak in the UFC and really did so well. I mean, I always think back to, because I remember those fights, like you would tell me like, oh, this guy takes 3 strides to the center of the cage, or he always starts with the inside leg kick, or like all the habits you'd have. And I just felt like Cisco was just playing like that streak of wins. He was just literally on autopilot, like we knew everything that was going to happen in those
Even when
fights.
we lost, it was going to happen.
Yeah.
Or what we were going to lose with if we lost.
Right. Was that the Pickett fight? I remember you kind of explained like how it could go wrong and how it could go right. Or even the Lineker fight, I remember you saying how it could go wrong and how it could go right. And then, both times.
Yeah. That was a crazy fight, gosh.
Yeah.
And out of all his fights, he had like quick finishes. I think Alex Caceres he knocked out in 28 seconds. No bonuses. Yeah. The fight, the only bonus he got was the Lineker fight. The one he lost. It was like 100 punches in 2 minutes, or I forgot what the statistic was.
I think I'll say it. I regret my behavior when he didn't get a bonus against Alex Caceres. I remember being outside of my usual character.
I think
it was just like, how many knockouts does this guy need?
Yeah.
I just felt like, and that one was just so like, it was like so clean, beautiful, so like picture perfect. And maybe it was my fault and my youthful exuberance back then. Like I thought, okay, that for sure, we're going to get a bonus. It's going to be great. We're going to be celebrating all this. And then it didn't happen. And I was like, oh man.
Yeah. I can't remember. I think it was the second fastest knockout in bantamweight history. And it's like, how do we not get a bonus?
I remember even like the George Roop one at the armed the
military base.
Yeah, I mean, like, dude, that one to me was one of my favorite ones. I mean, he was just stalking him, either, right? Yeah. So I do regret my behavior in that moment. I think like Ortega or someone got the bonus because he came back and won, and I think I was a little sour. I'm sorry, Brian Ortega. I'm sorry. I was a little. Young and trying to make it and make a buck in this world, and I was like, man, what do we got to do? But kind of it's luck though too. Though I think the bonus system, I don't say luck, but there's a variable of that. If you're on a card with, 6 knockouts, you make it tough. Or if you're on another card, like I remember when Ruben beat Cisco, we were so young, we left the building. We left the building to go eat at a buffet. And then I remember Romeo Ram was like, hey, has there been any other submissions? And we're just eating. I'm like, I don't know, who cares? Why? You know what I mean? Not thinking like, well, if there's no other submissions at the time, he'd get submission. And I remember texting Sean like, hey, Sean, if there's no other submissions, does Ruben get the bonus for tonight? He goes, yeah. And I was like, I remember he wrote, don't spend your money all in one place. I was like, thank you, sir. And they called us. And this is back then. We drove up to the valet at the Palms, and they just handed us a check for $50,000 right there.
I didn't even know Ruben won the bonus.
Yes. He won the bonus on it. So we left Mandalay Bay after eating the buffet. We drove back to Palms. They called me and said, "Hey, we have a check for you." I'm like, "A check for what?" Like, "We won the bonus. So you get it right now." I'm like, "Oh, we get it right now?" Total newbies, right? Total.
Wow.
The UFC's probably like, "Guys, what's wrong with you dorks?" You know what I mean? Like,
act like you've been here.
Yeah. We drove up and I remember him thinking like, he said, "Well, I only have a credit union. Like, we got to deposit in your bank. We're not carrying this thing around." You know what I mean? Like, we might lose it. So I remember I deposited in my bank and we took a little bit out and I was like, "Oh my gosh, the most money I've seen in my life."
Yeah, that's awesome.
But yeah, Cisco definitely had quite a few. Yeah.
It was so exciting to watch.
Yeah. I think he was your calling card.
Yeah. No, we really hit it off. That I remember the first time when Tito called him, he's like, "When's a good time?" And then he's like, I was like, "Now, today." So he literally came in an hour later. We hit mitts, and the rest was history.
How raw was he when you got him?
He was a brawler. He's always had power. He just had great instinct, just natural instincts. But then I think I didn't do much. I can't take credit for anything. I mean, most fighters, it's 99% them, and I feel like it's just a small portion of what we do is just tweaking a couple things. Sit on this, wait for this, like we always talk about baseball analogies.
Yeah. I felt like, just from outside in, when I was watching him before you in those early regional fights, he might have been at 11 or 12. You know what I mean? He might have been like a little too, you know what I mean? He was just chucking and throwing. And I feel like you kind of dialed him into that perfect like 9, 10, you know what I mean? Where someone would throw, he'd come up and it'd be over. You'd be like, "Oh my gosh," like, those knockouts at Tachi Palace are some of the best knockouts to this day. I've ever seen. It was beautiful.
Yeah, it was so fun to watch. That Michael McDonald fight, he had a lot of complications in his life going on, and then we were about to walk out, and he was like, "You know what? Just fuck all the combos, fuck everything. Just tell me what I'm fighting for. Remember, that's all I need to hear. Tell me what I'm fighting for." I don't want to say what it was, but we got in the cage and said, "Why are you here? He's trying to steal." I think it was 4-4. He got pinned. I was like, "He's trying to steal money from you for so and so," and he's just waving me off, just looking at McDonald the whole time. I was like, I was getting goosebumps. I was like, "Oh my gosh!" And then when that fight, oh gosh, it was like a mirror series. When someone throws it left, we'd go left.
Because he went right. What? He went head kick and we went hook, right? We countered off the kick, didn't we? I thought.
He finished. I think it was a left body kick to the right hand, left hook, and he dropped him with the right hand. But yeah, it was so scary. If you get to watch that fight.
Oh, that's right, because we set the kick and he went here, and I think we came to the other side. I remember. Yeah.
But you'll see him during the walkout how dialed in he was, and then I don't know if you can hear me yelling that stuff, but he just kept waving me off like, "I got it, I got it." And just bad intentions. And after it was over, he was crying. I hugged him. I was crying. I'm always crying, whether we win or lose.
Yeah.
But that was such a memorable moment. It was a game changer.
I remember being nervous because we just started working with Cisco, and 4-4 today is a lot of money.
Yeah.
4-4 in 2011.
Yeah.
That
was a lot.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot, especially, I think it might have been more than his WC contract, to be honest, that he was just coming off of.
I wasn't with him, but
yeah.
It was a lot.
But he said yes so fast. I remember in my youthfulness, I was like, "Oh man, like, should we think about this? This is Michael McDonald's brother. Like, this is like a highly touted prospect." But he said yes so quick. So I remember thinking excited I booked the fight. But then I remember thinking as the week went on and fight week showed up, I was like, shoot, I hope we're not, you know what I mean? Like, I hope we didn't get lured in by money here, and now we're in this guy's backyard, and but we still
coming
show.
Off 2 losses, right? Eric Koch knocked him out with a head kick. That was a short notice. Lost to Ruben, got submitted, guillotine. So then coming in and fighting a 9-1, Michael McDonald's brother.
Yeah.
And I remember, I can't remember if I was at the weigh-ins, but he was saying, I guess McDonald came in, was crossing off his face, like drawing on the posters.
Yeah.
And his interviews, like, he's had his shot, give me mine. That kid was good too. He's really good. So it wasn't an easy fight by all means, but Cisco wanted it, and You did well.
Yeah. Now, when you put it like that, it makes me even more nervous why I booked that fight. 2 straight losses, and I booked it because it doesn't make the manager look. I mean, I look like a genius now, but in my head, I'm like, you lose 2 in a row, you take a 9-1 kid. Like, Jason, what were you thinking here, dude? Like,
we knew how good Cisco was. You know what I mean? Like, I think that's what it was. Is that you had the confidence in him. I had confidence in him.
Yeah.
You know, he just needed to get, like you said, dial it in.
Yeah.
Once we found the right frequency, then
I mean, he definitely, everyone knew the potential he had, and everyone, I mean, you could see it. Like, I remember thinking, like, dude, this guy's fun to watch. Like, there's no way he's not in the UFC putting on good fights, because he was one of my favorite fighters to watch. Like, you just knew it was going to be a dog fight. You know, I remember, like, when they called for Ruben to fight him, I was like, oh my gosh, like, we had avoided this guy coming through all the regional scene. You know what I mean? Coming from the same neck of the woods. And now we like, now you have to fight him. But I remember he buzzed Ruben pretty good in the first. Yeah,
it was good. That was such a fun fight. If you see their footwork in the first minute, they're just bouncing around.
Yeah.
Man, these guys are quick.
Yeah, these guys are chucking.
That was good.
But I think that's when you and I started really, because I had just signed Chris before then. Mm-hmm. So that's when our relationship was really going. And then you got me to sign Cisco after.
Yeah, that's what it all started.
Yeah. But even still, like, I mean, Cisco kind of like was a gateway to you going to Arizona and ending up where you're today. Like, it's crazy how one guy can do so much for your career. That's the hard part.
I mean, I think we were so fortunate to have Titan Palace back then, because like, even now they're not paying for it. The regional shows, you know. No. It's a lot.
Yeah.
So I wish we had something like that.
And you remember that too? I don't even remember this, but I would go, they'd give us a slip.
Oh yeah, go to the cashiers.
Like, yay!
Yeah, we'd have to wait a week or two. Or
I used to always wonder in my head, I'm like, I wonder if they do that. So we're walking with all this cash next to all these slot machines and stuff. Like okay, we'll just play Winter Transit. They're gonna make their money back on us right now. Oh my gosh!
Those are the days, man. Gosh, it's been over 10 years already.
Yeah,
like that. It's insane.
Yeah, because I was thinking the other day, it was like 16 years of our relationship. That was like 15 years ago was when that whole thing with Cisco, we made that run together. And then 10 years ago is when we were in London, and then that kind of segued your exit out of California, like, and all that again from Cisco hitting pads, people watching, you know what I mean? Like, it's just crazy.
I remember that. That was, it's crazy where we're at now is how we got here.
Yeah, yeah. What's your goals for the gym now, or what? I know you guys are in kind of a transition stage right now. What do you?
I just want quality guys. I want full-time people. Trying to build the regular gym on top of the fight team.
Yeah.
But I don't want. I think Trevor Whitman, he kind of put the blueprint out. He had a big team, and now he only has like 4 guys. I would love to do something like that. I'm 51 years old. I don't have much time left, you know. But yeah, I just want to build something, build a relationship, end their career, end my career, and ride off into the sunset.
Heck yeah.
So we'll see what happens.
Right off to Vegas.
Yeah.
Because we're on Sunset Boulevard right here, okay?
And you can every time I come here, I don't know, because my wife and I, we really don't do anything on weekends. I'm working on till Saturday, but we're foodies. We either we're always home watching Netflix or Prime, or we always try to find a restaurant, you know, go out to. And there's not a lot of good Asian food in Arizona, especially coming from California. People are like, no, there's so many. Have you tried this? I've tried a lot of restaurants. They're some are decent, you know, but it's not Vegas or California, right? Yeah. And so every time I come here, just there's a piece of me that's going, why? Do I need to move here? Do I want I don't know what it is, you know. But I love Vegas. It'd be less traveling. I think we talked about when you moved here.
Yes.
Like 30% of the shows are here, so all these 50. 50%.
Wow.
See that?
There's 2 Apex shows a month, and there's 2 road shows a month.
Yeah, so I wouldn't be going out of town. Just all those small little variables,
and then even in the road show, if they're home games, like, you got to think too, like, you're home all week, even you know, weigh-in day, you're back at home still, so you're still.
No, that's really huge, because I just don't like to travel too much. I'm such a homebody. I just want to be home with my wife and my 2 dogs, and being here, I wouldn't have to travel as much. That's such a huge plus. And the food.
Yes.
So.
And I think too, just with how many fighters are here too, it's probably, you know, a lot of convenience for you to work with some high level guys.
Yeah.
You know, because they're all moving here.
I struggle with that a lot. Every time I come here, especially this trip, is like, man, we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens.
Let's go. Yeah.
We'll see.
I remember when I first moved here, like, we're obviously kind of, you love California. I love California.
Yeah.
I mean, like, we stayed, train together, hang out together, eat together. I mean, we loved it there.
Yeah.
Then I started seeing the convenience, like, man, I just drove 10 minutes to the Apex. And then the fight would be over. I'd see the guys, I'd drive home and I'm having dinner with my wife and I'm like,
cool.
Wow, like this is, you know, like even doing that once, twice a month is a huge recharge to when you're kind of running that gambit, you know?
For sure.
And then even like, just like even the travel, like coming to Vegas, out of Vegas is not hard, you know? Like, and I'm sure, I don't think Phoenix is a rough airport, but remember like LAX, sometimes you'd just be like, bro, I had to get here 3 hours before the flight. Like this is, man, I'm leaving my house 30 minutes sometimes before get into McCarran and just right into the.
Yeah. No, I mean, I live so far from the gym and the airport and everything else too. Like, trying to move to Scottsdale, it's so expensive over there. Too, you know, we like our space. Like I say, like our dogs are our kids pretty much.
Yeah.
So we have a nice backyard and everything else. So it's like I don't want to downgrade to move closer to the gym, but I love Arizona. I mean, besides the summers, I don't even mind the heat. I just hate bugs. Scorpions is.
You guys have a lot of that in AZ?
Yes. Like we spray year round. Sometimes I find one, they come back, but I'll still find at least 5, 6 in the summer in our backyard. It's scary.
I don't think we've.
You guys have it out here too.
I don't think. I don't think to that extent we do though. Like I've never had to spray my house.
Really, but this is the thing. So I talk to people in Arizona. They go, "Oh, I've never seen a scorpion before. I've lived here 20 years." I go, "Do you have a black light?" They're like, "No." Well, how are you going to find it? One, they're nocturnal. They come out at night.
Yeah.
It has to be over 78 degrees or something like that. Like I'm a scorpion expert. I hate scorpions.
Yeah, I could tell.
You know, so you have to have a black light, and then when you light shine the light, they light up like fluorescent, like just yellow from all the poison. But if you don't have a black light, you can't see them. You know. And so once I hit that black light, like my
get this black light. I'm gonna go find out. I'm gonna go do checking.
Get a black light. I'm telling you, in the summertime, get a black light and go outside.
I still don't think it's as bad as Arizona, though.
I think there's pockets of Arizona where there is none, but I live in the city of Surprise, and there's, I don't know. Maybe it's
in Summerlin. You can move out this way by me. It's not that bad.
And I've been to your house. I'm telling you, you need to look in your backyard. Out of sight, out of mind, but I'm telling you, get a black light.
I've never had an incident with one yet. I'm not trying to, you know?
Even I walk my dogs. I bring the flashlight in the summertime.
Yeah.
Dude, I always run into them.
Are they big?
No, nighttime.
No, are they big?
No, they're tiny. But
yeah,
they can, like they can go underneath your door or whatever, the size of a dime. Like anything is open, they can crack through. And they're hard to kill too. Like sometimes I hit it with the shoe, and then
why we talk about this? Now I'm gonna go home and be like over here.
Only in the summertime though.
Well, it's getting hot.
But
here.
they have it here. I'm telling you, research it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, scorpions, no scorpions. You're coming to Vegas.
Yeah.
That's the end for the food.
Yeah, for the food.
Man, Coach, I really am grateful for having you. I always finish the podcast with 3 questions. So, first one is, what would you tell your 18-year-old self?
Wow. That's a tough one. I was just talking about this with a friend of mine, Dr. J, actually.
Yeah.
And he told his son this. He said, if you do what you enjoy, you're not going to probably make a lot of money. If you want to make money, do something that's going to be hard or whatever. But I don't know if I would change anything. I mean, I wish I did this, less mistakes, and invested more in this. But I'm truly blessed. I can't complain. I have my health. I have my family. And that's a tough one. What did you say to that question?
It's all going to be worth it. I would tell my 18-year-old self it's all going to be worth it.
I love that.
All the struggle, I just think it's going to be worth it.
I love
But now that you brought up, like, you wouldn't change anything, like, there's times I'd like, Eric Winston, if I just would have listened to him about Bitcoin, I would.
Oh my god!
Remember that? He was.
They were like Bitcoin was $100.
Yeah.
I told the.
Does he still have it? Is he still? I would love to know if he
sure.
cashed in big on this.
I'm sure he did, but I think I told him one time, I was like, bro, why didn't you describe it better? Because I think at that time he was like, yeah, there's a black market website, you can buy this with the Bitcoin.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't need anything off the black market.
Yeah.
So, but if someone says investment, I'm like, yeah,
I just
I'll
remember
do it.
weren't there like machines he was talking about? Like, you go there and you can buy the Bitcoin on the machine, and I was like, okay, but what am I buying? I didn't understand it. I was like,
Yeah, it was. I wasn't sure what it was when he explained it to me.
yeah,
But I mean, my gosh. But one of my buddies, he bought a grip. He's probably got 100 million in Bitcoins.
good for him.
Yeah, he knew it was gonna pop,
And he got.
He's like, it's gonna be 100 grand. Everyone's laughing at him, and he thinks it's gonna go more than 100, like 200, 300.
I do too.
You know, you can't make any more.
Yeah.
So, but yeah.
Okay, second question: if you could have any quote on a billboard, what would it be?
I love yours. I remember. I'm not good at memorizing quotes. I usually have on my phone.
Yeah.
Rules are meant to be broken. Standards are meant to be upheld.
Yes.
That one stuck in my mind. I actually wrote it down when you told it to me.
Yes.
I love it.
Yeah, it's a good one. And then last thing, one song for the rest of your life. What are you going with?
Oh, that's tough. That's a tough one. I don't know.
Yeah.
For me, this is the way my mind thinks. When someone says, "What's your favorite song?" I say, "What genre?" What's your favorite movie? What genre?
But that's what I'm saying. One song on repeat. The world's coming to an end. You're stuck on an island. You got one song on an iPod over and over for the rest of your days.
See, this is how I am. My wife knows this the best. When I get stuck on a song, I'll have it on repeat for weeks.
Yeah.
That's all I listen to. I can't stop. I'm semi-autistic when it comes to that. That's why I go in waves on songs. I don't know. I'm horrible with these questions.
Do you know at Oklahoma State, they play the same song for the whole practice sometimes?
Which one is that?
No, they'll just pick a song, and it's just
they play it over and over
for the practice.
during the practice.
Yes,
Wow.
You know this.
Why did they do that?
I first saw it at Penn State, so I don't know if David Taylor brought that from Penn State. I think it's almost like mind games. I almost like, you know what I mean? Because you're just like, it's just monotonous. You're just hearing.
Wow, that's interesting.
Yeah, because my first time there, I was like, hey, who's
To
on?
me, is it the same thing?
Who's the DJ? What we got going on here? I've heard this like six times already, you know? They're like, no, that's what we do. I was like,
What would be your favorite song or only song?
I've had a couple I could go with. Like, one always comes to mind is a song by Dirty Heads. It's called "Slow Down." It says we're all running in the same race. Ain't nobody winning. So just slow down and enjoy. So kind of like something. Just remind myself, like, hey, dude, you're in a race that no one's gonna win.
Yeah,
so
that's
just.
tough, man. I don't do well with those questions because I think.
Do you know what's crazy? Every person, they answer the first two not that hard. This one always gets them. They're always like, oh, I don't know. Like, that's one song, you know? Man, I need to change it up. Okay, you get three. You get one per genre.
It's like food. If you had one food, what would it be, right?
Yeah.
That's a tough one.
Heck yeah. Well, I appreciate you, Coach. Thank you so much.
I appreciate you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah. Awesome. Guys, catch us on YouTube and Spotify. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you soon.